Good evening, everyone. This is Rev Trader from RTC University, and today I want to talk about liquidity, how liquidity forms, what to look for, and what is specifically liquidity. So, liquidity it's nothing more that the imbalance in conviction between both buyers and sellers, and the ones that have more deep pockets normally wins the exchange. For the buyers, they think that they can sell higher, and the sellers think that they can buy lower. So that's why they sell and try to buy later, and that's why they buy and try to sell later. So it's an imbalance in convictions represented in the market. As an example, I want to show you uh, for example, this price action that I drew here, and uh, so we can try to understand why this kind of concepts form, and what to look for specifically that represents this liquidity that I'm talking about. Okay, so if we imagine this price action, so we have here an ascending move, a little bit of consolidation, and then a continuation, and then some other movements that we're gonna talk right away. So after this consolidation, normally uh, there are liquidity form in both ways, in the top and in the bottom. Okay. Normally the price like to clear liquidity both ways, for example like that, before it reverses or it continues the move, and the price action will interact with these levels later. For example, could interact um, for a bunch of reasons. But why those exact levels are important to keep an eye out? Simple. Imagine that you are one of those persons that add longs, longs, longs along the way. Okay, and then you wait it out for the retracement to see, okay, so I'm in profit along the way. Uh, where do I gonna put my trailing stop loss, for example? All those longers in this area, where they're gonna put their stop loss? Very obviously, they're gonna put their stop loss underneath the forming lows. That's why it will make a liquidity zone to then the market target later on. So every time you see a move, people are more buyers than sellers. That's why the price start to go up. It's to fill that order buys that coming in aggressively. After the price retrace, or because the buyers are getting weaker, or because the buyers are taking profits, or just because the sellers are selling more aggressively. And imagine that the price rallies again after this interaction. What usually happens is all those buyers, they're gonna put their stop loss underneath, forming another liquidity pool. For example, the sellers that sold here aggressively, that make the price go down, then a retracement, then they sell aggressively, they short, they short, they short aggressively, forming here liquidity above, liquidity above. So this is zones that the market gonna target later on, and this is how you find liquidity zones. Liquidity zones is basically trap orders of stop losses, or from stop losses in profit, or even from stop losses that are later longs. For example, if you are a later long here and your position start to get underwater, you maybe be hopeful that the price reverse, but they're gonna target your stop loss here that is making part of the liquidity pool that the price need to reverse or to continue their move. Okay, so this is just a representation how I draw the lines, the squares, etc., representing the liquidity. I usually use the light blue for represent the liquidity. For example, it's the BTC chart. I open a long around here. I'm going to show you specifically where I longed when we see this reaction. Okay, so my position was something like that. Okay, I had this zone drawn out for a long time. Okay, why is that? Because if you see after the movement of this expanding movement of the market, after it topped out, after it tried to top out multiple times, it make here a zone, start to make here a zone of lows, lows, and it made a liquidity zone target. And we have here another one, this consolidation zone, still to be target later, probably could be months later, could be next week. So I have a theory that the price could expand again, make a newer high, and still come all the way down to this zone, both clearing weekly liquidities, clearing monthly liquidities, and interacting with the SR flip. Okay. So as the price are here in discovery zone, as you can see, if you go to a little bit lower time frame, the price reverse after clearing all these liquidity zones. Okay, this was liquidity where many stop losses probably were situated. All the people that long these zones, their stop loss was here underneath, 100% sure. That's why you see this kind of reaction, a quick wick. If you pull the volume on this specific candle, you're gonna see a high volume delta, and that represents a lot of sitting orders. After the price starts to rally, you can see we are clearing liquidity above, for example, this level. Perfect interaction one time. So after we clear some of the liquidity below, we try to rally. It wasn't enough, so we didn't break this level. Price starting to get weak, buyers starting to slow down, sellers starting to step in, and the price reverse, looking again for what? More liquidity. After the price having the liquidity necessary to pull through, it's gonna pull through all these levels. Now it's consolidating a bit, it's weekend. Let's see if next week the price might do something to clear the last liquidity above and making a new all-time highs. For example, if the price start to get in here and start to consolidate underneath, failing to break above and closing many bars below it with declining volume, it's a signal that this impulse is weakening. Could be a good shorting signal, for example, to look again for liquidity below, for example. Okay, this is how I think about when I look to this kind of price action and structure in the market, this is how I think. um, and this is areas that usually attract a lot of eyes and a lot of attention, and you could keep an eye of that type of interaction. That's why I have my alert situated right off the top, um, and I'm waiting for that kind of interaction, probably to take profits of the long, or even to add an edge position, or even flip short and closing my longs um, along the way. Okay, so this is how I look to the liquidity. It's quite simple. Uh, if you have any questions, you can pass by the Discord, go to the university channel, and we can discuss furthermore about liquidity. Okay, I hope you find well. I hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, thank you for everything, and see you soon. Okay, bye bye. Thank you.